Ian Greenstreet, Chairman of Infinity Capital Partners and Board Director of Diamond Bank. I mean, as we were just hearing then, this has really opened up a different view of Nigeria altogether, hasn't it?
It most certainly has, and it's sort of indicated that the Nigerian sector or economy is much more broad-based than one originally thought. And I think it's important for investors because investors, both domestic, both foreign investors, lenders, the government, to sort of see where the growth sectors are. Because if you imagine a sort of very simple example, let's suppose that one sector was contributing, let's say 20, and another sector contributing 20. The average is clearly 20. But if the year after, one sector went to 40, and another sector went to 0, well, obviously, as an investor and a lender, you're precisely right. And so this provides meaningful information in terms of the capacity for the value of services and goods added in the particular areas. It helps an investor say, well, look, if I'm wishing to establish a business in this area, there is this purchasing capacity in that area. So I think it sends very positive signals.
Can I just take you to a similar sort of subject, just on the periphery of it? The finance minister yesterday said there would not be a huge increase in government spending, but you can't help noticing that actually the debt to GDP ratio is such that could take place, couldn't it?
Well, I think first of all, we should just stand back here. This rebasing does not mean that everybody's suddenly richer. No, they've got more money in the bank account, or they've got more food in their stomach. Far from it. But with a higher GDP, rebased GDP, you've clearly got your debt to GDP has fallen from 19% to 11%. And so that's good news. It shows a healthier economy. It doesn't mean to say that tomorrow you want to go and start borrowing more money. No. But the ratios from a benchmarking perspective look much better.
But what I'm trying to explore is, if you're an investor and you're looking and you're trying to get ahead of what everybody else is thinking, you must be saying to yourself, well, infrastructure's got to be a good thing because it needs it, and there is so much more scope now for private-public partnerships, I would have thought, in Nigeria.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. I mean, you're going to have the sort of economy that Nigeria has, sort of now a GDP of 510 billion. But that does not necessarily mean that you have a developed physical infrastructure economy. It means that there's more taxes potentially to collect in terms of being able to boost that economy. But clearly, it's underinvested in terms of infrastructure, etc. But just let me sort of come to one point. I mean, I think it's highly significant, this rebasing, because Nigeria has now moved from the 38th position to the 26th position, ahead of countries like Hong Kong, Austria, Denmark, and these are quite significant countries in terms of now the 26th most important country in terms of total GDP contribution. So I think it's a proud moment for Nigeria.
Indeed, and very, very briefly, if you were looking at some sectors that you would encourage investors to go into or look at, what would they be? Very, very briefly.
I think it's, to answer your question directly, it's about the sectors that you have most expertise in. What this clearly shows is there's a whole host of sectors with significant capacity.
Thanks very much indeed for joining us, Ian.
Thank you.